The gun doesn't waver when Lee Jae-won walks through the restaurant door. And that's when Simone realizes this beautiful, terrifying man has been waiting for her to prove something all along. But that moment is 3 months away. Tonight, she's just trying to survive the dinner rush. Earlier that night, Table 7 needs water refills. Table 12 wants the check. And that man at Table 3 has been staring at you for 20 minutes. Simone barely glances up from the tray she's loading. They all stare. May comes with being the only black woman in Gangnam. Her coworker laughs, but it's nervous. Not like this. He's different. Simone risks a look. Table 3. A man alone, mid-30s, wearing a suit that costs more than her monthly rent. Sharp jawline, dark eyes that track her movement with predatory focus. The kind of handsome that comes with a warning label. Every woman in the restaurant keeps glancing his way. The hostess nearly dropped a menu when she seated him. Even manager Kim is hovering, obsequious. Simone picks up her tray. She's got 6 tables in her section and no time for pretty boys who think the world stops spinning when they enter a room. She delivers orders to Table 5, clears plates from Table 8. When she finally reaches Table 3, the man is still watching her. Hasn't even opened his menu. "Good evening," she says in careful Korean. "Are you ready to order?" He doesn't answer. Just studies her like she's a puzzle he's solving. Simone's worked in Seoul for 18 months, long enough to know when someone's playing power games. She switches to English. "Sir, if you need more time, I have other tables. I can come back." You didn't bow. His English is perfect, accented. "Everyone who's approached me tonight has bowed. Except you. I'm not Korean. Different customs." She keeps her tone professional, pleasant. "Should I grab you a drink while you look at the menu?" Something flickers in his expression. Amusement? Irritation? Water? Still, not sparkling. "And I'll have the galbi gem." Simone writes it down. "Excellent choice. I'll put that in for you." She turns to leave. "Wait." She pauses. "What's your name?" "Simone. I'll be back with your water." As she walks away, she feels his eyes burning into her back. May intercepts her at the server station. "Oh my God, do you know who that is? A customer with expensive taste?" That's Lee Jae-won. His family owns half the shipping industry in Seoul, and the other half that isn't legal. May's voice drops to a whisper. "My cousin works security at a club in Itaewon." She says Lee Jae-won walked in once, and every gang member in the place bowed. "He's dangerous, Simone. He's also waiting for water." Simone fills a glass. Dangerous men still have to eat. But her hands shake slightly as she delivers it. Jae-won doesn't touch his food when it arrives. Just asks questions. Where is she from? How long in Seoul? Does she like the city? Simone answers briefly, politely. She's learned not to give too much. Not to men who look at her like she's fascinating instead of just a person trying to work. "You're not impressed," he says finally. "By what?" "Most people are nervous around me." Simone sets down her order pad. "I'm a black woman working service in Korea. You think you're the scariest thing I deal with daily? Last week a customer screamed at me for 10 minutes because her soup was too hot. You're just sitting there being mysterious. That's easy." His laugh is unexpected, genuine, transforming his severe features. "You're extraordinary. I'm busy. Enjoy your meal, sir." She escapes before he can respond. The rest of the shift passes in a blur of orders and refills. Jae-won leaves an obscene tip, enough to cover a month of her rent, and a business card with a single handwritten line. "I'd like to see you again." Not as a customer. Simone throws it away. 3 days later, he's back. Different table, same intensity. This time he orders in Korean, waits until her section clears, then asks if she'll have coffee with him after her shift. "I don't date customers." "I'm not asking for a date. I'm asking for conversation." "Why?" He considers this. "Because you treated me like a person. That's rare in my world." "Still no? But thank you." His jaw tightens. "You don't know what you're refusing." "I know exactly what I'm refusing. A complication I don't need." Simone meets his eyes. "I'm here to work, save money, and go back to Chicago to finish my nursing degree. I'm not looking for whatever you're offering. And if I'm offering protection, opportunity, then you're talking to the wrong woman. I don't need saving." She walks away. Behind her, she hears him say softly, "No, you really don't." But he comes back. Again and again. Always polite. Always leaving massive tips. Always watching her with those dark, unreadable eyes. After 2 weeks, Manager Kim pulls her aside. "Mr. Lee has requested you specifically. He wants to offer you a position. What kind of position? Private service. His family is hosting an important dinner. They need someone who speaks English, understands Western customs. One night, 50 times her usual pay. Simone's student loans are drowning her. Her mother's medical bills from the stroke last year keep piling up. One night. Professional. Public. Fine, she says. But I serve food. Nothing else. Of course. Manager Kim looks relieved. Nothing else. The Lee family estate makes Simone reconsider every choice that led her here. The house is a fortress. High walls, security cameras, men in black suits stationed at every entrance. The dining room could host 50 people. Crystal chandeliers. Art that belongs in museums. Wealth so old it doesn't need to announce itself. Simone wears the uniform provided. Elegant black dress, subtle jewelry. Her natural hair is styled in a sleek updo. She looks professional. Untouchable. J1 meets her in the foyer. You came. You're paying me to work. I work. My family can be intense. Don't take anything personally. I've worked service for 5 years. I can handle intense. She can't. The dinner includes 12 people. J1's father, stone-faced and cold. His mother, draped in diamonds and judgment. His younger sister, who sneers openly at Simone. And various business associates who treat her like furniture. Simone serves each course flawlessly, refills wine without being asked, anticipates needs before they're spoken. She's invisible, professional, until J1's mother says, in English clearly meant for Simone to hear, "This is what happens when we allow foreign workers. No respect for tradition. Look how she stands, like she belongs here." Simone's hand tightens on the wine bottle. She says nothing. "Mother," J1's voice is quiet. "Dangerous. That's enough. I'm simply stating facts. You requested her specifically. People are talking, J1, saying you have inappropriate interests. My interests are none of your concern. Everything you do concerns this family." His mother's voice hardens. "You're expected to marry you, me son. The merger depends on it. Stop this foolishness." Simone finishes refilling glasses and retreats to the kitchen. She shouldn't care. This is work. These people are nothing to her. But her chest aches anyway. J1 finds her 20 minutes later. "I apologize for my mother." "Don't." She said what everyone's thinking. Simone doesn't look at him. "I'm the help. I get it." "You're not." He stops. Starts again. "Why don't you defend yourself? Fight back." "Because I need this job. Because fighting people with power when you have none is just self-destruction." She finally meets his eyes. "Because I learned a long time ago that dignity isn't about fighting every battle. It's about choosing which ones matter. And I don't matter? You're a customer. A boss. Whatever this is," she gestures between them, "it's not real. You're fascinated because I'm different. Because I said no. Once the novelty wears off, you'll move on to the woman your family chose. That's how this story ends. What if I don't want that ending? Then you're more foolish than I thought." Simone removes her apron. "I'm done. Please wire my payment. I won't be coming back." She walks toward the exit. "Simone, wait. I've waited enough. For customers who treat me like entertainment. For men who see me as exotic instead of human. For a life that keeps demanding I make myself smaller." Her voice cracks slightly. "I'm done waiting. For you or anyone." She leaves. 2 weeks pass. No payment arrives. Simone calls the estate. Lines disconnected. Visits the restaurant. Manager Kim avoids her, nervous. She realizes with sick certainty that she's been blacklisted. Other restaurants won't hire her. Her visa status is suddenly under review. J1 destroyed her life for saying no. She's packing her apartment, preparing to return to Chicago in defeat when the knock comes. It's J1's sister. "Get in the car." "Absolutely not. My brother is about to do something catastrophically stupid. You're the only one who can stop him." Against every instinct, Simone goes. They drive to a private club in Gangnam. Inside, the main room is packed with men in expensive suits, the kind of gathering where deals are made and blood is occasionally spilled. J1 stands in the center, facing a man Simone recognizes from news reports. Park Sung-ho, a rival family's heir. "You ruined her career," J1 is saying. "Pressured. Immigration. Blacklisted her." "What?" Park smirks. "Because you wanted her. Because watching you pretend to care about some foreign waitress was pathetic. I did you a favor, showed your family how weak you've become." "Weak?" J1's laugh is hollow. You think caring about someone is weakness? In our world? Yes. J1 pulls out a gun. The room goes silent. Then I'm weak, he says quietly. Because I'm about to start a war over a woman who told me to wait my turn, who treated me like I was ordinary, who walked away with her dignity when I failed to protect her. J1. His father's voice cuts through. Put down the gun. This is insanity. This is clarity. J1 doesn't lower the weapon. I've spent my life being what this family needed. Dutiful, strategic, cold. And it's made me exactly like all of you, powerful and alone. His eyes find Park. You're right. She is my weakness, which makes her untouchable. Harm her again, and I burn your empire down. That's when Simone walks in. Put the gun down, J1. Every head turns. Simone walks through the crowd of dangerous men like she's crossing a restaurant floor. Steady, unflinching. J1's hand trembles. You shouldn't be here. Neither should you. Not like this. She stops 3 feet away. What are you doing? Fixing what I broke. By starting a gang war? That's not fixing anything. That's ego. Park laughs. Listen to her, Lee. Even your waitress knows you're being pathetic. Simone turns to Park, and her voice drops to ice. I'm a nursing student working to pay off debt, so I can help people who actually deserve it. I've delivered babies in emergency rooms and held dying patients' hands and dealt with men like you my entire life. The ones who think cruelty makes them powerful. It doesn't. It makes you forgettable. She looks back at J1. I told you that first night I didn't need saving. I meant it. So either shoot him and prove you're exactly who they think you are, or put down the gun and prove you're the man who asked me about my dreams over cold coffee at 2 a.m. when you thought I wasn't paying attention. J1 stares at her. You noticed? I notice everything. You're not as mysterious as you think. She holds out her hand. Gun. Now. He gives it to her. The room erupts. Arguments in rapid Korean, threats, negotiations. Simone sets the gun on a nearby table and addresses J1's father. Your son just risked everything because someone hurt me. That's not weakness. That's conviction. If you can't see the difference, that's her failure, not his. She turns to leave. J1 catches her hand. Where are you going? Chicago. My visa's being revoked, remember? What if I fix that? I don't want you fixing things for me. I want. She stops. Realizes everyone's listening. I want to finish this conversation somewhere else. He nods to his sister. Handle this. They end up on the empty rooftop. Seoul glitters below them, indifferent to their drama. I didn't blacklist you, J1 says immediately. Park did it without my knowledge. The moment I found out, I nearly murdered him. Yes, romantic. I don't know how to do this. He runs a hand through his hair, frustrated. Care about someone without trying to control everything. My whole life is about power, leverage, strategy. But you make me want to be ordinary. Want mornings where the biggest decision is coffee or tea. Want someone who sees me, not what I can provide. I see you, Simone says softly. The man who eats alone because he doesn't trust anyone. Who tips enough to change lives because he understands struggle even if he won't admit it. Who learned English by watching American medical dramas because, she pauses, piecing it together. Because his sister told you the waitress he was obsessed with was studying nursing. His expression confirms it. You investigated me, she continues. Had me followed. Probably know everything about my student loans, my mother's stroke, why I chose Seoul over New York. Yes, that should terrify me. But it doesn't. It doesn't. She steps closer. Because I also see the man who left books about Korean history at my apartment door, so I'd understand the culture better. Who paid my mother's medical bills anonymously. Yes, I figured that out. Who sits in restaurant corners just to watch me work because it's the only time I'm unguarded enough to be happy. J1's breath catches. I didn't think you noticed any of that. I'm a waitress. I notice everything. She touches his face gently. But here's what I need you to understand. I don't want to be your weakness. I want to be your equal. That means you don't fight my battles. You stand beside me while I fight them. And I do the same for you. My family will never accept you. I don't need their acceptance. I need yours. Real, honest. This terrifies me, but I'm doing it anyway. Acceptance. I'm in love with you, he says. Completely. Inconveniently. Since the moment you told me to wait my turn like I was ordinary. Good. Because I'm in love with you too. The real you, not the terrifying Mafia heir everyone bows to. So now what? Simone considers. Now you use that leverage you're so good at. Fix my visa situation, legally, not through threats. I finish my degree. You figure out how to run your empire without losing yourself. And we build something real. That's a long game. I'm not going anywhere. She kisses him softly. Well, except back to school. And probably Chicago for clinical rotations. And, I'll wait, he interrupts. However long it takes. I've been waiting since the moment you walked away from my table. What's a few more months? Years, actually. Nursing school takes commitment. Then I'll learn patience. Below, they can hear the meeting ending. Jaewon's phone buzzes, his sister texting that negotiations concluded without bloodshed. Park agreed to back off. The families want to talk terms. You should go handle that, Simone says. Walk with me. She takes his hand. They descend together. At the door, Jaewon pauses. For the record, I'm still paying you for that dinner. With interest. And a formal apology from my mother. Your mother hates me. She hates that she can intimidate you. There's a difference. He smiles. That rare, genuine expression. Give her time. Or don't. I stopped needing her approval the day you chose dignity over defending yourself to people who didn't deserve your energy. 6 months later, Simone's back in Chicago, drowning in anatomy courses and clinical hours. Jaewon visits monthly, trading his suits for jeans, learning to navigate her world of med school study groups and hospital cafeteria coffee. This is terrible, he says, staring at his cup. Welcome to my life. Simone is highlighting notes, exhausted. You can leave if it's too ordinary for you. He kisses the top of her head. Never. 2 years after that, she graduates. Jaewon is in the audience beside her mother, who's recovered beautifully and taken to calling him that nice Korean boy who finally convinced my daughter to accept help. At the reception, he pulls Simone aside. I have something for you. If it's expensive, it's a job offer. Seoul National University Hospital needs a bilingual nurse for their international unit. It's yours if you want it. No strings. No pressure. Just an opportunity. Simone studies him. You arranged this. I mentioned you were exceptional. They did the rest. So I come back to Seoul. So you'd have options. His voice is serious. I've spent 2 years learning to love you without controlling you. If you choose Chicago, choose somewhere else entirely. I'll respect that. But if you choose Seoul, choose me. I promise you a partnership. Real, equal, honest. Simone pretends to think about it. What about your family's arranged marriage situation? Ended that 18 months ago. Caused a minor scandal. My father didn't speak to me for 3 months. And now he asks how you're doing. Wants to know when you'll visit. I think he's fascinated by the woman who walked into a room of criminals and disarmed his son with basic human decency. She laughs. Kisses him. Yes. Yes to the job? Yes to everything. They return to Seoul together. Simone works the international unit, advocating for patients who don't speak Korean, building programs for immigrant healthcare access. Jaewon slowly transforms his family's business, still powerful, increasingly legitimate, always protective. They marry quietly, a small ceremony mixing both cultures. Simone wears her mother's pearls and traditional hanbok. Jaewon's vows are in English and Korean, promising partnership over protection. At the reception, his mother approaches Simone. You've made him soft. I've made him happy, Simone corrects. There's a difference. The older woman's expression thaws slightly. Yes, I suppose there is. Years later, Simone trains new nurses, teaching them that dignity isn't about bowing, it's about knowing your worth. Jaewon runs his empire with unexpected compassion, the man who learned that strength and gentleness can coexist. And sometimes, late at night, they return to that restaurant in Gangnam. Sit at table 3. Order galbi-jjim. Remember when you told me to wait? Jaewon says. You mean when I treated you like a regular customer? When you treated me like a person. He takes her hand. Best thing anyone ever did for me. Simone smiles. You made it worth the wait. Their story becomes Seoul. Legend. The waitress who refused to bow and the Mafia boss who learned that real power isn't making people kneel. It's standing beside someone who never will.